You've been lied to. Every diet plan, every fitness program, every piece of common wisdom about sugar has been misleading you. You've been told sugar is the enemy, that it automatically turns into fat, that your body is a ticking time bomb for weight gain. But what if I told you that sugar itself is not your problem? That sugar can actually be your ally, your most powerful fuel, if you know exactly how to use it. What separates people who struggle with fat gain from those who turn sugar into pure energy, into muscle, is one simple principle: timing and context. You can force sugar into your muscles, make it work for you, and stop it from turning into fat if you fall. The strategy the experts rarely talk about. First, let's understand what really happens when sugar enters your body. Sugar, or glucose, is the body's fastest fuel. It travels through your bloodstream searching for a home. If your muscles are depleted and hungry for energy, sugar rushes there and gets stored as glycogen, the exact fuel your muscles crave to perform and grow. But if your muscles are full and your energy isn't being burned, sugar has no choice but to be stored in fat cells. This is why some people eat sweets and never gain a pound, while others see it go straight to their waistline. The difference is muscular demand. Your muscles are either ready to accept sugar or they're closed for business. And this is where most people fail. They eat sugar without creating that muscular demand. No workout, no glycogen depletion, no signal to the body, and sugar quietly sneaks into fat. So the first rule is crystal clear: create a sugar sink in your muscles before you eat it. This isn't about starving yourself or hours of cardio. This is about strategic, intelligent stimulation. Resistance training is your best weapon. Squats, deadlifts, rows, presses, compound movements that engage large muscle groups. When you lift heavy, you're not just building strength, you're telling your body, I need fuel. Now, muscles become glucose-hungry engines post-workout, ready to suck sugar in. The more intense the workout, the stronger the signal. The science behind it is simple. Muscle contraction triggers glucose transporter proteins to move to the cell surface, opening doors for sugar. This isn't theory. This is biology. This is how champions manipulate their body chemistry to make nutrients serve them instead of betray them. Next, timing is everything. Eating sugar right after a workout is not indulgence, it's strategy. Post-workout, your muscles are primed, glycogen stores are depleted, and your insulin sensitivity is at its peak. This is the moment your body screams for glucose. Feed it now, and sugar floods the muscles instead of fat cells. Miss this window, and you're back to ordinary sugar storage. The difference between progress and stagnation, between lean muscle gain and fat gain, often comes down to this single moment after you put in the work. Champions understand this, and you can too. But there's more. Not all sugars are equal, and not all foods create the same effect. Natural sugars from fruits, combined with protein and a little healthy fat, are incredibly effective. Why? Because protein stimulates muscle repair, creating an even greater demand for glucose. Fats slow digestion slightly, preventing spikes and crashes, making sugar absorption efficient instead of destructive. A banana with whey protein after a workout is not a cheat, it's a tool. A candy bar on the couch after scrolling social media, that's a disaster. The body doesn't make distinctions for taste. It responds to context, to muscle demand, to hormonal signals. You must feed sugar with intention. Speaking of hormones, this is where most people get lost. Insulin gets a bad rap, but it is the key to muscle growth and fat control. Insulin is a transport hormone. It carries glucose where it's needed. If your muscles are depleted, insulin will deliver sugar there. If your muscles are full, insulin will reluctantly store sugar and fat. You don't need to fear insulin, you need to command it. You do this with proper exercise, nutrient timing, and portion control. You become the conductor of your body's symphony, not a passive observer. Every meal becomes an opportunity to direct resources where you want them, muscle, not fat. Hydration and blood flow play supporting roles too. Muscles with good circulation are more receptive to glucose. Dehydrated muscles are sluggish. Glucose struggles to enter, and insulin efficiency drops. This is why staying hydrated, warming up properly, and even adding technique like contrast showers or massage can amplify nutrient delivery. Your body is a system, not a single lever. To force sugar into muscle, you have to optimize every aspect: movement, timing, nutrients, and circulation. Let's also talk about consistency. One post-workout banana won't make you an athlete. One missed workout won't destroy your progress, but every pattern you create shapes how your body reacts to sugar. Regular strength training, strategic post-workout nutrition, disciplined hydration, and intentional carbohydrate timing turn your muscles into glucose sponges. You train your body to handle sugar efficiently, to prioritize muscle over fat. Over weeks and months, you'll see your energy rise, strength increase, and body composition change. Sugar becomes fuel, not foe. Finally, mindset. So many people sabotage themselves with guilt. I ate sugar, I failed. Stop that. Failure isn't a piece of candy. Failure is a pattern without purpose. You are not powerless. You are in command. When you understand the science, the timing, the strategy, sugar becomes a tool to accelerate results. Your body is not a prison for sweets. It's a machine waiting for your commands. Feed it with precision, move with intensity, and watch transformation happen. It's not magic. It's muscle physiology, nutrient timing, and disciplined execution. When you stop fearing sugar and start managing it intelligently, your body will change. Energy levels surge, workouts improve, recovery accelerates, and fat gain drops dramatically. You'll eat sugar and actually feel it fueling your strength, not bloating your waistline. The doors to muscle fuel are open. Your job is to knock and walk through at the right time. The difference between someone who struggles with fat and someone who turns sugar into muscle isn't luck. It's knowledge applied consistently. It's waking up every day with the intention to create demand in your muscles, to eat with purpose, and to control the timing and context of every carbohydrate you consume. The body responds to signals, not guilt. You are the signal. You are in charge. Your next steps are simple but non-negotiable. Lift heavy, lift intelligently, focus on compound movements that challenge large muscles. Eat carbohydrates immediately after your workout with protein. Hydrate consistently, optimize circulation, and respect your hormonal environment. Repeat day after day, week after week. Your muscles will learn to demand sugar first. Your fat cells will stop getting the memo. Your body becomes a lean, powerful, efficient machine that uses sugar to build instead of store. And when you see that first shift, more energy, fuller muscles, leaner definition, you'll understand why most people never succeed. They give sugar to fat by accident. You, however, will have learned the secret. Sugar is not the enemy. Muscle is your ally. Timing, intensity, and knowledge are your weapons. Use them and your body will reward you with the strength, performance, and composition you've been chasing all along. You cannot control where sugar goes in your body unless you create the right environment for it. Your muscles are like hungry sponges that absorb glucose efficiently, but only if they're ready to do so. Most people eat sugar without thinking about this fundamental principle, and that is why sugar often ends up stored in fat. The first and most crucial step in forcing sugar into muscle instead of fat is to create muscular demand before consuming it. This is not some gimmick, it's pure biology. Muscles respond to stress and depletion, and glucose transporters, the proteins responsible for moving sugar into your cells, are activated when your muscles contract. Every lift, every squat, every push engages these transporters. You're essentially opening the doors in your muscle cells and signaling to your body, I need fuel now. To create this demand, you have to engage in resistance training or intense muscular work that targets large muscle groups. Squats, deadlifts, rows, presses, lunges, these aren't just exercises to build size and strength. They're metabolic triggers. When you push your muscles under load, you deplete glycogen stores. Glycogen is stored sugar, the reserve fuel in your muscles, and as it depletes, your body starts sending strong chemical signals for replenishment. These signals include the movement of glucose transporter type 4 proteins, GLUT4, to the surface of the muscle cells. This is literally the biological mechanism that allows your muscles to catch sugar from your bloodstream instead of letting it float around and be stored in fat. The heavier and more intense the workout, the more receptors are mobilized. The greater the demand, and the more sugar will flow into your muscles. It's not only about lifting heavy, it's about engaging as much muscle mass as possible. Smaller, isolated movements like bicep curls or calf raises are beneficial for tone, but they won't create the same systemic demand. Think big movements that require coordination, multiple joints, and multiple muscles working together. When large muscles are activated, they act like metabolic engines pulling glucose aggressively from your blood into the fibers that just worked hardest. This is why compound movements are non-negotiable if your goal is to direct sugar into muscle and away from fat. Another critical factor is intensity and effort. Your muscles must feel challenged up. If the workout is too easy, glycogen depletion will be minimal, glucose uptake will be limited, and insulin will still deliver sugar to fat cells instead. You have to push past comfort zones strategically, maintaining proper form while working at high effort. High intensity sets, moderate to heavy weights, and short rest periods all contribute to keeping your muscles in a state of glucose hunger. It's not just exercise, it's sending a clear message to your body. Everything I eat now should be fuel for these muscles, nothing else. Timing of this muscular work in relation to eating sugar is equally important. The ideal scenario is exercising first, consuming carbohydrates immediately after, when your muscles are primed and glycogen stores are at their lowest. This post-workout window is a biochemical sweet spot. Your muscles are insulin sensitive, receptors are abundant, and glucose transporters are active. Feed sugar during this window, and your body has no choice but to store it in muscle. Miss this window, and even the hardest workout loses efficiency in directing sugar. It's not magic, it's simply taking advantage of your body's natural recovery mechanisms. You can enhance this effect even further with targeted techniques to increase blood flow to the working muscles. Warming up, stretching dynamically using light resistance before heavy sets, or even foam rolling increases circulation. Better blood flow means more glucose reaches the muscle fibers, creating a stronger pull. Hydration is part of this equation as well. Water helps transport nutrients efficiently. Dehydrated muscles are sluggish and less receptive to glucose. If you combine intense, large muscle workouts with proper hydration and circulation, you create a perfect environment for sugar to be absorbed by muscle instead of fat. Recovery periods also matter. Your muscles remain sensitive to glucose for a few hours post-workout, but if you sit idle for long periods or eat sugar in unrelated contexts, the effect diminishes. Consistency is key. Daily or regular strength training routines maintain a state of readiness in the muscles, keeping the glucose doors open. Your body learns that sugar belongs in the muscles first. Over time, this shifts your metabolism, reducing fat gain, improving energy utilization, and even enhancing insulin sensitivity overall. It's also important to recognize that creating muscular demand is not punishment, it's strategy. Many people view exercise as a chore, a way to burn calories. That mindset undermines the real purpose. You are not burning sugar. You are preparing your muscles to absorb it. The effort you put into the gym is directly linked to the efficiency with which your body will handle nutrients. Every rep, every set, every drop of sweat is a signal to your body about where resources should go. This transforms exercise from a passive habit into an active, intelligent tool for controlling your body composition. Finally, you must understand that muscle demand trumps calorie counting alone. You could restrict calories perfectly, but if your muscles are not primed, sugar still risks being stored as fat. Conversely, a well-timed, intense workout followed by strategic carbohydrate intake allows even higher calorie days to favor muscle growth over fat accumulation. This is the difference between people who exercise and plateau and people who use exercise to completely reshape their bodies. You are literally telling your muscles, I need you to take this sugar, and your muscles respond. Everything begins here with muscular demand. It is the foundation of controlling where sugar goes in your body. Without it, timing, nutrients, and even supplementation cannot overcome the simple fact that your muscles must be ready to accept glucose. With it, every subsequent strategy becomes exponentially more effective. The body responds to signals, and the most powerful signal is intense, targeted muscular work that creates genuine energy need. Once you grasp this principle, you no longer fear sugar, you control it. You decide whether it fuels growth or fuels fat. You become the architect of your metabolism, the commander of your body, the master of where your energy goes. Timing is not just important, it is everything. You can lift heavy, push your limits, and create enormous muscular demand. But if you fail to fuel your body strategically after the work is done, all of that effort becomes wasted potential. The moment you finish a workout, your muscles are in a state of heightened sensitivity. They are depleted, exhausted, and screaming for nutrients. This is the time when sugar can either become your greatest ally or your worst enemy. You have to treat this window with the precision of a surgeon. When done correctly, post-workout nutrition forces sugar into muscle cells instead of fat cells, enhances recovery, accelerates growth, and supercharges energy levels. The body's insulin response after exercise is unlike any other time during the day. Insulin is a transport hormone often feared and misunderstood, but in reality, it is your greatest tool if you know how to use it. After a workout, insulin sensitivity skyrockets in the muscle tissue. Glucose transporters, previously moved to the surface of the cell during contraction, remain highly active. This creates a metabolic vacuum, pulling sugar directly into muscle fibers for glycogen replenishment. Protein consumed in this window amplifies this effect. Amino acids stimulate repair and recovery, creating even more demand for glucose. Pair sugar with protein after training, and you are feeding growth, not fat. Not all carbohydrates are equal, and understanding their quality and timing is critical. Simple sugars like glucose or dextrose are absorbed rapidly, making them ideal for immediate post-workout consumption. Natural sugars from fruits, combined with proteins, also work effectively, providing antioxidants and micronutrients that support recovery while ensuring the glucose spike is directed to muscle, not fat. Avoid processed sugars that are consumed outside of this window. They are more likely to be stored in fat because your muscles are no longer signaling for fuel. Timing and quality together create the perfect storm for muscle glucose uptake. Portion size also plays a role. Overfeeding even after a workout can overwhelm the system, and some sugar may spill over into fat storage. This doesn't mean starving yourself. It means calculating intake based on your body weight, the intensity of your workout, and your goals. A common approach is consuming 0.5 to 1 gram of carbohydrate per pound of body weight after a demanding session, paired with around 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. This amount ensures that the muscles receive the sugar they crave without overwhelming the system. Every gram counts because the body is highly responsive immediately post-exercise. Mismanaging portions is like opening the gates too wide. You want to feed the muscle, not the fat cells. Hydration and circulation are supporting factors here as well. Post-workout, your blood flow to the muscles is elevated, making them more receptive to nutrient delivery. This is not just theory. Studies have shown that the combination of glycogen depletion, high blood flow, and protein co-ingestion significantly improves glucose uptake efficiency. Drinking water or an electrolyte solution during this time further enhances circulation and nutrient transport. Your muscles are primed, your body is signaling, and sugar is ready to be absorbed. You are in control, but you must act. Timing and preparation separate those who gain muscle efficiently from those who slowly store fat. Another often overlooked aspect is the inclusion of protein and small amounts of fat in post-workout meals. Protein is not optional, it is essential for repairing muscle fibers and amplifying the demand for glucose. Fats, moderation, slow digestion slightly, and stabilize blood sugar, preventing crashes while allowing a steady stream of nutrients into the muscle. This combination creates a perfect environment for sugar to be stored where it is needed most. Your meal becomes a tool, not a gamble. You are no longer at the mercy of random insulin spikes. You are directing resources intentionally. Consistency reinforces these adaptations. Muscles learn to prioritize sugar when the pattern is repeated day after day. One well-timed post-workout meal is beneficial, but repeated over weeks and months, it transforms your body's metabolism. Your muscles remain insulin sensitive, glycogen storage improves, recovery accelerates, and fat gain decreases significantly. Sugar becomes a tool to accelerate progress rather than a liability. The body responds to repeated signals, and with proper timing and nutrient pairing, you are effectively training your metabolism just as much as your muscles. Mindset is the invisible force behind all of this. Many people eat sugar and immediately feel guilt, thinking they are undoing their hard work. That mindset is destructive. When you understand timing and nutrient pairing, sugar is no longer the enemy, it is a strategic ally. The post-workout window is not a cheat, it is a calculated opportunity. By eating the right carbohydrates with protein at the right time, You harness the power of your body's natural biology, converting potential fat into muscle fuel. This mindset shift transforms your relationship with food, turning eating into a tactical decision rather than a source of stress or anxiety. It is also critical to plan your workouts and meals together. Failing to coordinate exercise and carbohydrate intake undermines this principle. You must view your routine as a system, not isolated parts. Workouts create demand, meals supply fuel, and timing ensures the fuel is directed correctly. Without this coordination, even the best exercise or the healthiest diet can result in fat storage. Mastery comes from understanding this flow and consistently applying it. You are training your muscles to be the first recipients of sugar, and every decision, exercise, meal composition, hydration, and timing reinforces this message. Ultimately, post-workout nutrition is about empowerment. You take control of a process that most people leave to chance. By feeding your muscles strategically, pairing carbohydrates with protein, choosing the right types of sugar, and consuming them immediately after training, you turn sugar into a growth tool instead of a fat trap. Every post-workout meal becomes a calculated step toward improving body composition, energy, and performance. The difference between someone who eats and gains fat and someone who eats and builds muscle is not luck, it's timing, it's strategy, and it's execution. That consistency, mindset, and control are the invisible forces that separate people who struggle with fat gain from those who turn sugar into muscle and energy. You can have perfect workouts, impeccable nutrient timing, and the most precise post-workout meals, but without consistent application and the right mental approach, all of that potential is wasted. Your body responds to patterns, not one-off efforts. It learns what to expect and adapts accordingly. If you train hard for a week and then abandon your routine, your muscles lose sensitivity, glycogen stores remain full, and sugar once again finds its way into fat. Consistency is not about punishment or obsession. It's about establishing reliable signals to your body that fuel should go where it matters most. Every workout, every meal, every intentional decision reinforces the message: muscle first, fat second. Mindset is the foundation of consistency. Most people sabotage themselves not because of biology, but because of their beliefs. They eat sugar and immediately feel guilt, thinking they've ruined progress. They skip workouts because they feel tired or unmotivated and then blame their genetics for poor results. This mindset is exactly what keeps sugar trapped in fat cells. The shift you must make is simple but profound. View every action, exercise, nutrition, hydration as a deliberate signal to your body. Eating sugar after a workout is not indulgence, it is strategy. Skipping a workout is not laziness, it is a lost opportunity to control how your body stores fuel. You are no longer a passive observer, you are the architect of your metabolism. Once you adopt this mindset, every decision becomes intentional and the power to direct sugar into muscle lies entirely in your hands. Consistency also includes repetition and routine. Muscle cells do not respond perfectly the first time you signal them. Repeated patterns strengthen the effect. When you train regularly, consume nutrients strategically, and time carbohydrates consistently after workouts, your body becomes conditioned to prioritize muscle over fat. Glycogen transport improves, insulin sensitivity remains high, and recovery accelerates. Your muscles learn that sugar is their preferred fuel. This is why top athletes and bodybuilders maintain precise routines. It is not discipline for the sake of discipline. It is creating a physiological environment where nutrients work for them every time. Inconsistency, by contrast, disrupts the system. Sporadic workouts and random eating patterns confuse the body, leaving sugar vulnerable to fat storage. Consistency is the engine that converts knowledge into results. Control is the final piece of this triumvirate. You cannot rely on luck, willpower alone, or vague eat healthy and train hard advice. You must control the variables that determine where sugar goes. This means planning meals, planning workouts, and even planning recovery. You choose the intensity of your exercises, the composition of your post-workout meals, the timing of your hydration, and the quality of your sleep. All of these factors interact to determine whether sugar fuels growth or fat. The moment you stop leaving these decisions to chance, you reclaim control over your body. You are no longer at the mercy of biology, you are directing it. Control does not require perfection, it requires intention, awareness, and commitment. Accountability is part of control. Tracking your workouts, meals, and timing ensures you maintain the patterns that drive results. Without accountability, inconsistency creeps unnoticed. Logging weight lifted, repetitions completed, grams of carbohydrate consumed, or post-workout meal composition is not obsessive, it is intelligent strategy. It creates feedback loops that reinforce what works and correct what does not. When combined with the mindset of intentionality, this feedback ensures that sugar is repeatedly directed into muscle, not fat. You begin to see the cumulative effect of every deliberate action, and progress becomes predictable instead of random. Equally important is patience. Your body will not change overnight. Muscle glycogen, insulin sensitivity, and metabolic adaptations require repetition over weeks and months. This is where mindset and consistency reinforce each other. Viewing short-term deviations as learning opportunities rather than failures prevents discouragement. Skipping a meal or having a mistimed snack is not disaster. It is a signal to adjust and reinforce the pattern the next time. The most successful individuals in fitness and body composition maintain long-term consistency by focusing on patterns, not perfection. Over time, the body internalizes these signals, sugar becomes fuel for muscle, and fat gain decreases naturally. The mental aspect extends into discipline around environment and habits. Your surroundings, what food is available, how structured your day is, the support systems you have can make or break your ability to consistently signal muscle demand and control nutrient timing. You must shape your environment to reinforce your intention. Keep post-workout meals ready, schedule workouts, and remove temptations that conflict with your plan. Every choice is part of the system that teaches your body to prioritize muscle over fat. Without environmental control, consistency relies solely on willpower, which is unreliable in isolation. Finally, the combination of mindset, consistency, and control creates freedom rather than restriction. Many people fear sugar and feel trapped by rules and limits. When you master these three principles, sugar is no longer an enemy, it is a tool. You eat, you train, you recover, and the body naturally stores nutrients in the places that serve your goals. You are no longer reacting to cravings, guilt, or random fluctuations in energy. Instead, you are orchestrating a system where every decision compounds, turning sugar into energy, muscle, and progress. Control becomes confidence, consistency becomes habit, and mindset becomes unstoppable momentum. Once you embrace these principles, the results compound in ways most people never experience. Energy levels rise, muscle fullness improves, recovery accelerates, and fat gain diminishes naturally. You become attuned to your body's signals, understanding which exercises, meals, and timings produce optimal outcomes. Your relationship with sugar shifts from fear to empowerment, and your actions reflect mastery rather than chaos. Mindset, consistency, and control are not abstract concepts. They are the levers that transform knowledge, effort, and nutrition into measurable, lasting results. Every day is an opportunity to reinforce the signal to your body. Sugar belongs in muscle first, fat last. This requires vigilance, repetition, and awareness. It requires cultivating a mindset that views every workout and meal as an intentional signal, a system of consistency that builds over time, and the control to manage variables that influence nutrient partitioning. Together, these principles transform your metabolism, amplify performance, and turn sugar into a powerful ally for growth, energy, and lean composition. Everything you've learned today boils down to one undeniable truth. Your body is not a passive system. It is a responsive machine that reacts to the signals you give it. Sugar is not the enemy. It is fuel, energy, and potential, waiting for the right context to be directed where it belongs. When you create demand in your muscles through intense strategic workouts, you open the doors for glucose to flood your fibers instead of fat cells. When you time your meals, pair carbohydrates with protein, and respect the post-workout window, you ensure that sugar works for you, accelerating recovery, building muscle, and powering performance. And when you combine consistency, mindset, and control, you transform every meal, every workout, and every decision into a deliberate signal that trains your body to prioritize growth over fat storage. This is not theory or luck. This is mastery over your own physiology. You are capable of directing sugar, energy, and nutrients exactly where they are needed. You are capable of training your muscles to become glucose-hungry sponges, ready to use fuel efficiently. You are capable of transforming your body, your energy, and your confidence by committing to patterns that reinforce purpose over randomness. The tools are in your hands, the knowledge is in your mind, and the moment to act is now. Every choice you make, every intentional signal you send compounds over time into results that most people never achieve because they never truly understand the system they live in. Take control. Commit to consistency. Strengthen your mindset. Direct sugar, not waste it. Fuel your muscles, not fat. This is your strategy, your plan, and your opportunity to change the way your body responds to nutrition forever. Your body will reward precision, intelligence, and discipline, so stop guessing and start commanding. The future of your strength, energy, and body composition begins today, and it begins with the decisions you make right now. This is the moment you take control of sugar, turn it into muscle, and unleash the full potential of your body.